Avoidant attachment is when somebody has a fear of being vulnerable or getting close to someone. For whatever reason, when they attempt to get closer to someone, they feel fear and they wall off or they stuff the feelings down. They may appear intimate or close to somebody else, but really it's typically they're asking about the other person and helping them to open up. They're not usually the one to share about themselves. They feel a little bit more comfortable with some distance in relationship. And if their partner appears clingy or like they really need them, it could make them feel very uncomfortable and they might want to push them away. Now, I've heard some mixed things on the setup of this. According to attachment theory, this is set up from inconsistent parenting, where maybe a parent is not emotionally available or some form of neglect, or also from trauma and abuse. I've also heard, with my work with studying Pia Melody's overview of developmental immaturity model and her work with love addiction, love avoidance, that the love avoidant is set up for this from enmeshment or abuse in childhood. Now, I also think that anyone who is enmeshed or abused by a parent, there's also emotional neglect there as well. But according to the Facing Love Addiction work, it is that love avoidant in some way, shape, or form, it was too much in childhood, and this led for them to avoid. And so I would be curious to hear from all of you, anyone who is an avoidant and you recognize you're an avoidant in your relationships. Do you relate to having either enmeshment or abuse in childhood? Now, enmeshment is I don't know where I end and you begin. It's like it was too much in some way, shape, or form. This could be a helicopter parent, a parent oversharing with you, leaning on you for emotional support. In some way, shape, or form, it was too much. Or as an avoidant, do you relate more to parents not being available and neglect and feeling like this set you up to feel it's not safe to connect to others and it's just easier to be distant? I would love to hear your experience as an avoidant on that. Either way, regardless of setup, avoidants often show up similar in their adult relationships and their romantic relationships. And this is a need for distance, not feeling comfortable being really close, needing to be independent and do things on their own, not wanting to have to depend on anyone else. And this is all about safety and them feeling like I can take care of myself. This is survival. Survival brain is activated saying, I need to be independent because for whatever reason in childhood, I could not depend on my caregivers. Whether that was abuse, whether that was neglect, whether that was enmeshment. And so maybe it was all about parents' feelings and you didn't have space for yours. In some way, shape, or form, there was no space for your feelings. And so you learned, I got to protect myself. I got to take care of myself.